Welcome to the Communication Movement Classroom. I'm your host instructor, Wendy Nyberg. Today we're going to talk about dreams. Many of you have had dreams that have been that you've accomplished, or maybe you haven't accomplished yet, but you're wanting to accomplish them. And you've had these dreams since you were young, as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, and you're wondering, will I ever be able to accomplish my goals? My answer to you in that is yes, you can, but you have to set goals. Um, you need to set yearly goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, and daily goals. And you need to work on short-term and long-term goals and be realistic about it. A lot of times we want to do things, but then it's going to take work to do that. One of my goals was become an author. I wrote a paper in college, and my professor said I should get it published. And so I said, okay, I'll think about it. And I sent it to some publishers, and my book was published in September of 2021. It's called Communication Movement, Communicate, Collaborate, Connect Around the World, and this was published in September of 2021. One of the reasons that I wanted to publish this is because I wanted to give an outlet for teens to have academic and emotional support. As a substitute teacher, one of the things I realized for students is that they were having challenges doing their classwork because they didn't feel like they had any emotional support or any academic support. And one of the things that I recommend to students is that they get the rubric for the assignment. They follow the guidelines for the rubric so that they can get the grade that they want. Now, on the rubric, it tells you how do you get an A, how do you get a B, how do you get a C, and so on and so forth. And if you follow those guidelines, you will do well. But if you wait till the last minute to do an assignment, then you are going to get a grade that you may or may not like, because you got to remember, you got to put forth effort in order to do that. Now, for setting goals, one of the things that I recommend is that you get a day planner and you put down what you want to accomplish for the week. You can use a to-do list and you can write down what you want to accomplish and then work on that every single day. When you work on things, you'll find that you are able to accomplish more than you thought, but it does require work. So I recommend that the students set monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals. And then that will carry out to be quarterly and semi, and then yearly goals. So basically what I suggest to people is that they decide what is it that you want to do. Some people want to learn how to play an instrument. Some people want to learn how to play the piano, how to play the guitar, or some other type of instrument, or they want to sing, so they need to take vocal lessons, or they want to do good in school, so that means they need to work on classwork before school, after school, during in the evening, before dinner, after dinner. So if you want to be good at something, then it's going to require work on your part. And you've got to set goals, and you've got to make sure those goals are realistic and they're attainable. Um, so when I wanted to become an author, I took my paper and I submitted my paper to different publishers. Now, one of the publishers said, "Oh, if it's less than 1,000 pages, we're not gonna be able to publish it." Well, most people don't read books that are 1,000 pages. So, but I sent it to a few other publishers and I got a response that they would do it. But what I didn't know is that that paper required a lot of editing, back and forth with the editing team, and I had to spend quite a bit of time working on my paper to edit it and making sure that my grammar was correct. I didn't have any fragmented sentences or run-on sentences, that my spelling was correct. And it took an editing team to really say, hey, this is what we think you're saying. Is this correct? And so it took me 2 years to get my first book published. I'm working on my second book, and it was a lot of back and forth and back from the editing team working on making sure that everything was done, and then citing my sources and getting the references done and all of that. So there is quite a bit involved in publishing a book, and it really takes a lot of effort, taking it from the beginning stage until it was actually published. But the work is well rewarded because after 2 years I was able to get it published. So I would just recommend that you think about if you want to get something published or you want to learn an instrument, that you're going to have to take the initial steps to find someone to teach you that is very experienced, that has a lot of time and experience in doing that, whether it's writing, whether it's playing an instrument, or you need to find someone that has a lot of experience in that area. And then you need to set goals. Okay, how am I going to do this? If I'm going to practice something, how much time am I going to allot to this? Am I going to spend an hour a day? Am I going to spend a few hours a week? Am I going to focus on this once a month? How serious are you with fulfilling your goal and bringing that dream into reality? So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you today. And if you are interested in job coaching or tutoring, I'm available. You can reach me at WAN, the number 1, Nyberg, NYBERG, at gmail.com. Well, I have enjoyed our time today, and I look forward to you in the next session. Have a great day. Bye.